Sudzha is encircled. Russian armed forces. Put a bold period in Kursk region. Report for January 22nd. Hello, you are watching the Field Reports channel, and these are the military political updates for January 22nd. Before we begin, I would sincerely ask you to subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you contribute to the development of the channel. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. Fierce fighting continues in the Kursk region. According to the latest information, Russian troops are advancing in the Darino area. Specifically, these flags indicate the forested areas that Russian units have managed to secure. If we focus on Sverdlikovo, we can see continued pressure in that area. Additionally, there is notable progress toward Sudzha. As we can see, Russian forces are advancing, having taken certain settlements along the way. Now there are only about 5 to 6 kilometers left to Sudzha. Video footage from FPV drones shows strikes on Ukrainian positions, targeting relay stations and communication systems. All signs indicate that Russian forces are preparing for further offensive operations here. Examining the map, we can see the Ukrainian forces, as I have often said, are politically motivated to hold on to as much territory as possible. Even in unfavorable conditions, they are forced to defend the semi-encircled units they have stationed here. Meanwhile, the Russian army appears to be focusing on closing this encirclement and is advancing towards Sudzha and nearby settlements. This area has only 3 main roads, one towards Sverdlikovo, another through Kazachia Lokhnya to Malaya Lokhnya, and a third leading to Martinovka. Progress here is impossible without capturing Sudzha and nearby settlements. The Russian armed forces aim to cut off supplies to the Ukrainian units in the region, effectively creating the Kursk cauldron. Due to winter conditions and the concentration of Ukrainian forces, we are not seeing significant advances. However, the overall plan is clear. The cauldron is already formed, and the primary goal now is to close it completely and eliminate all Ukrainian units trapped inside. Switching to the Kupiansk direction, in the north, Russian units managed to establish a foothold, secure their first bridgehead, and continue advancing into a settlement now almost entirely under Russian control. They also crossed the Oskol River and captured Zapadnoye. As I mentioned in previous reports, this development indicates that Russian forces may attempt to encircle Kupiansk or cut off this pocket and possibly advance toward Volchansk. The region is vast, and the number of forces available here remains unclear. A significant bridgehead is being established, and developments will likely become more apparent in the spring when weather conditions improve. However, a potential assault in this direction cannot be ruled out even now. Moving to Donbass. Since the last report on Chasiv Yar, changes are visible. North of the refractory plant, Russian forces have advanced near the railway and residential areas. The central part of Chasiv Yar remains under Ukrainian control, with heavy fighting ongoing. In Toretsk, preparations are underway for it to serve as a staging point for further operations, including assaults on Kostiantynivka. Controlling Kostiantynivka is critical for taking the Kramatorsk agglomeration. This explains why Ukrainian forces have long focused on holding Chasiv Yar and Toretsk. The only remaining stronghold in Toretsk is the Toretsk mine, which has yet to be captured. Many ask why the mine has not been taken yet. In my view, and as I've mentioned before, supplying this area is difficult, and the Ukrainian units stationed there are in a poor defensive position. Although some fortified positions remain, the mine's capture is only a matter of time. Whether it happens a week earlier or later, the objective is to take it with minimal effort. The fate of Ukrainian units here has long been clear. Toretsk is being prepared as a stronghold for the next stage of the Russian army's advance. On the Pokrovsk direction, in previous reports, it was unclear how the assault on the settlement would proceed. Now, the picture is becoming clearer. Following the capture of Shevchenko, Russian forces have advanced and taken several settlements, including parts of Udakne, which is expected to fully come under Russian control soon. Several smaller settlements in the area have also been captured, indicating that Pokrovsk will likely be surrounded and placed in a tactical encirclement. Supply routes to the settlement will be cut off, similar to what happened in Toretsk, after which Pokrovsk will be taken. Unconfirmed reports suggest that Russian units have already penetrated Pokrovsk near Shevchenko and secured positions in residential areas. While this information remains unverified, it seems plausible. Videos show FPV drones targeting communication systems and relay stations, disrupting Ukrainian command and making coordination difficult. Additionally, electronic warfare systems are jamming Ukrainian drones and other aerial vehicles, which are heavily relied upon by Ukrainian forces. Military political news. Developments near Velika Novosilka. The situation is escalating near Velika Novosilka. Following the capture of Neskuchne and Vremivka, the group located in Velika Novosilka finds itself encircled. The locality is divided by the Mokry Yali River, and Russian forces are now methodically splitting the area like a pie, which we can observe in their current operations. There is also an industrial zone and a farming area, part of which, marked in grey on the map, is already under Russian control. Intense assault operations continue, and I believe Velika Novosilka will fall soon. This will mark another significant town in Donbass captured by Russian forces. Looking at the map after the fall of major settlements in this area, Ukrainian forces appear to lack significant fortified positions or major settlements to defend. The route ahead, even toward Komar, consists mainly of open fields and small villages, which could allow for rapid advancements by Russian forces. Time will tell how this situation resolves, but as I mentioned earlier, the main objective is to achieve offensive goals with minimal resources, a strategy that the Russian army in Donbass has successfully executed for years. Additional updates from other fronts. Kursk direction. Improving weather spurs increased activity. Over the past few days, the weather has noticeably improved, with frost firming up the ground, which has led to intensified combat activities. Russian forces recently advanced to the outskirts of the Nikolsky hamlet and approached Viktorivka once again yesterday, reportedly securing positions on its outskirts. Additionally, a video surfaced showing Russian soldiers in Mykolaiivka Daryino. This indicates that Russian forces currently hold the initiative in the area. Whether Ukrainian forces can counteract this remains uncertain, but they need to act quickly before it's too late. While Russian forces are active in the south as well, reports of success in capturing Huevo remain premature, between the Vovcha and Solona rivers, Serednya. Meanwhile, Russian forces continue to press Ukrainian defenses between the Vovcha and Solona rivers, aiming to push deep into the rear of Ukrainian positions near Andreyivka and Alexievka. Yesterday, Russian assault units advanced via a ravine to the southeastern outskirts of the settlement of Serednya. If Ukrainian lines collapse here, it would be catastrophic for their southern front. Once the fighting for Velika Novosilka concludes, Russian activity north of this settlement is expected to increase significantly. In the medium term, this could set the stage for another encirclement, Kane, near the lower reaches of the Vovcha River. I hope this scenario materializes. Novopavlivka direction, Ukrainian counterattacks. Rather than withdrawing the remnants of their 3 brigades trapped in the Dachi pocket, Ukrainian command has chosen to launch counterattacks to relieve the encirclement. Ukrainian units are counterattacking near Andreyivka and Zelenivka, while Russian forces, having breached Ukrainian defenses within the pocket near the Suky Yali River, have increased pressure on the settlement of Dakhny. Fighting continues in this area, but no significant changes have occurred yet.